I'm right back. The downside of this class, it's not live. So normally with students in the live class, I sit shoulder to shoulder with them during office hours and work through this stuff. And if you have questions, I don't know, and so on, and if I screw something up, you don't catch me on it. You catch me on it, but you're at home, what can you do, kind of thing. Anyway. But then again, it's a summer class, so it's over in 5 weeks, and that's got to be good for something. So, making significant progress at what? The question that is begging to be asked there. Currently, the last sentence in there, I crossed some things out. I took out, it is not easy to... Alright, crime is a multi-layered issue. Broken windows, we should capitalize that W if we're capitalizing everything. Exists primarily as a deterrent. Currently there are no alternatives. What about community-based policing? I'm not an expert in this stuff, but I think that's a thing. There are alternatives. You may not have come across them in those articles, but there's alternatives. It's just that this one is particularly well known and particularly widespread. Broken Windows still has its adherents out there, I'm sure. It seems to appeal to people's sense of logic. It makes sense on some level to people. It may not work in practice for various reasons, but it does make sense to people, and that makes it difficult to get rid of. You say the first step is in the next paragraph, and the second step is asking. I'm putting it in the future tense and an uncertain kind of form of the future tense. Would be. Would be. I think it's more aspirational sounding. Is has a definiteness to it, I'll give you that. Would be seems to be a better fit for me, but reasonable minds can differ. The communities they heavily police are disorderly. I say communities that are heavily policed are disorderly. In the next sentence, addressing the surface issues is like taking painkillers, and you say for a symptom of an illness. Well, we do that. People have cancer, take painkillers. It's great. That's wonderful. Make sure when you're using an analogy or a metaphor or something like that that it makes logical sense, right? Better to say addressing surface issues is like taking painkillers while failing to treat the cause of an illness. There's a difference there. Think it through, read it through again, and look at it. Again, taking painkillers for a symptom of an illness, that's something we do if the illness is causing pain. It's when we take painkillers and ignore treating the underlying cause, if it's treatable, right? That's where the problem starts. Now you have a sentence in here that says, instead real success is found in identifying. I lost that sentence for you. I say, it presents context, that's meant to be in the present context, the police will, and then need to consider. T and N aren't even close together. Anyway, in the present context, police will need to consider the reasons crimes are committed and then I have an extra crimes in there. I correct these pretty fast sometimes, as will the researchers who study crime and law enforcement. I took out the sentence on topics such as, no, I didn't take it out. It just says, now it says, lack of economic opportunity, lack of educational funding, public resources, and lack of understanding between racial demographics all look to be promising in answering how to resolve the underlying causes of crime. Those things are all being looked at. Somebody somewhere is looking at all of those things. So keep that in mind as you're writing this. So then at the very end here we have, in the near term, support for local social institutions. Support is needed for institutions, and I think I was pretty much cool with the rest of it. So those are the edits to this one. That's all the sections. go through this carefully. Make sure that the draft you're working on, this draft you're working on, is going to be the end draft. That'll be your grade. You're in great shape. It's a layup from here for you. Just do what you have to do. Get this thing together. Make it the best paper you possibly can, and you'll be pleased with things when grades come around. All right. Thanks for the hard work. I'm going to go to bed.